Hey guys, welcome to 4NERDS, and this is Samantha Win.
What is up?
Welcome back to 4NERDS. We are 4NERDS, and welcome to the show this week, man. We got some things to talk about, and I got to.
Wait! There's something else we got to talk about. Something very, 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 very important.
Yes,
because today we have a special guest, a fire interview conducted by Anthony from the ACS Universe with Samantha Win. But on top of that, there's one more thing, you guys. Ryan, you want to tell him?
Yeah, I do.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
Guys, you guys better get ready because we're about to set this bitch off. And go right ahead and tell him, Andre.
Yeah.
Dawson, I think you should tell everybody why today is so special.
Well, Andre, today is so special because a certain someone was born this day several decades ago.
Is that right, Alfred?
And it is Anthony from the ACS Universe.
Alfred! Happy birthday
Yes.
to
Yes.
ACS
Happy
Anthony
50th birthday. The big 5-0.
The big
Wait,
5-0.
what?
What?
Did I just?
Ryan
did I go to
gets the
sleep?
boot. Ryan gets the boot.
Did
I
I
just
just?
give you the vague several
Big
decades.
Daddy
No way.
is
It's
a
not
big
5-0.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and
Do
gentlemen,
the
the
Huey
show
Lewis and go
has
back
to
in
go on.
time.
Yo, did I sleep for like several years?
Several years.
Yeah, what is
So
really-
how old are you, Big Daddy?
Oh my God.
God, get him out.
You remember
out.
Big Daddy?
Fuck
Who
out.
else is
Don't
Big
ever-
Daddy?
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't matter who says it. You should not be saying. I'll tell you that.
Yes. I am 44 years old today. Thank you
Whoa!
very much. Yes. Don't look 44, so the gym is doing its job, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but I did. I had a great day. Did have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with Samantha Win, which we'll get to in just a little bit. And yeah, it was pretty fire, dude.
Hey, so everybody drop some fire emojis in the chat and wish our good friend Anthony a happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
44 fires.
44 fires. The big 4-4.
44 fires.
4x4.
4x4.
which I sell at my job. So there you go.
Hey.
Full circle, ladies and gentlemen. No, I just want to send a shout out to everybody for all the love all day long I've been getting on like social media for this. It's astounding, honestly. And so I really appreciate it. It's been a day. It's been a day.
Been a day.
Yes,
It has.
It
I
has.
have to admit that he is correct.
It has been a day, much like the day before and the day before that, but not quite like the day before that.
Not quite.
Oh shit! So let's jump to the chat real quick.
The chat is on fire right now.
Yes. Job
Chat
is
is
on
on
fire.
fire.
What's up?
First here, shouts out. Let's see. Jesse Allen, let's go. Yes, let's go.
Jesse.
Here, Jason, what's good?
What's up, guys?
Lewis, what's
Good to
up?
see you.
I'm glad that you're here.
Oh, that's all right.
Look like that your hair.
What's up,
Glad
guys?
that your hair?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see.
You gotta
Ryan,
do
you
the
got a
Hugo.
hairpiece?
You gotta do the Hugo. Hello, Dawson.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Man. I appreciate it. There's some guy talking about let's go.
I know, right?
Yo, Andre. Yes.
Meg brings up a very good point.
Oh, happy
Who's going to
birthday.
give you your 44 birthday spankings?
Whoa! That's a
Wait,
lot
where's
of,
that at? Is it
a
down?
lot of, it's
Wait,
a little bit
do I
down
want
there.
to continue
That's a lot of
throwing
cheeks. That's a lot of cheeks.
Oh yeah, dude,
That's a lot of clapping cheeks or slapping cheeks.
Slapping cheeks, really.
Slapping cheeks.
You did it.
That's 22 per cheek, y'all. That's what that is. What up, homie? Homegirl Meg, send me a special
His
shout out.
ass
I
would be
appreciate
on
it so much.
fire. I'll tell you that.
Oh shit! Oh man,
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All the love.
You know,
man.
this is a special day because I mean, not only did Anthony get a chance to have a one-on-one interview with Samantha Win, which we're going to show a little bit later on today,
but he released some images from a production that he's in control of.
And for those who are unfamiliar with this show, most people thought that it was Dave Bautista interviewing Samantha Win. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, guys.
Win-win. Everyone's like,
a win-win.
I didn't know Vin Diesel does interviews.
Celebrities, one channel.
4NERDS.
It's about 4NERDS. There you go. Two heavyweights.
Don't know.
Two heavyweights. A gridiron matchup.
Oh snap, man! So yeah, I appreciate all the love today. But yes, there were some images dropped that let me add this to the stream. This was one of them. So you guys thoughts, man?
I mean, I'm liking the depth. You know, the chest. Emblem has changed. It's now not just a triangle. They actually made it into the symbol. I think the gauntlets are interesting.
Yeah,
but they kind of, to me, that's the low point of the costume. I think everything else is awesome except for the gauntlets. They kind of remind me a little bit of like a Marvel kind of, you know.
They almost kind of like an Iron Man gauntlet.
Yeah, that's the only part that kind of breaks it up. I like. See, there it is. Better photo of it. They're not horrible. They're not horrible.
I think the whole suit looks a million times better.
I think it looks better. Yeah, I think these gauntlets are better than the last ones. They were just, you know, I think they were just like, you know, was that sectioned?
She said did get it. Yeah, she did. She sent me a private message.
Well, there's your face there. You just look at the camera like,
who's Candace?
Candace? You don't know who Candace is? Candy? Come on now.
Candace.
Oh, okay. We can't talk about this. Let's move on. Okay, so Zachary Levi. I mean, no, his suit looks a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and his hair looks better.
He looks like his muscles look a little more real this time. And I love how when his neck meets his chest, there isn't like a huge like gap between like the height of his suit, which really was a bad.
It looks natural.
Yeah. That's a better look at it right there.
I think this looks a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see, you know, what it looks like. What do they do with the cape? You know, does it still look the same, or did that get an upgrade? But yeah, no, I like everything. The clasps are a little bit different. I don't think they have the tigers on them on either side of the Shazam emblem. But yeah, you know, I like it. I dig it.
A lot better.
Yeah, the muscles don't look blown up. Like I said earlier, like they don't look like the suit has so much padding in it. From the first movie. Yeah, and David Sandberg did comment somewhere recently where he said, you know, we had a lot to learn when it came to like creating the suit. So like, they knew that it was going to be different this time around because they learned a lot from the first movie. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like David Sandberg makes the suits himself, you know. Right. And what they probably did was they probably watched Zack Snyder Justice League and they're like, "Hey, you guys, we got to step up our game."
Well, probably did is they probably saw
this looks like
design,
cosplay.
They probably saw the design that they had for the Black Adam movie. It's like, oh, we have to match this.
Yeah.
So this is probably very similar to Black Adam.
Yeah. Well, I think Black Adam's suit is going to be different still.
Really?
I think it's going to be different than this. I think it's going to be more close or in tune with the Boss Logic concept art because The Rock really digs, you know, Boss's work. So I mean, I think that, and this is in the future, and it would be kind of narratively weird for it to look like Black Adam's costume, and then in Shazam #1 look like that, you know, balloon, you know, caricature, and then look like this now. So chronologically, it would be like, okay, awesome, weird, and then awesome. And which it is, but I'm just saying, you know, I don't think that the Black Adam suit is going to be this suit just black.
Right.
I think his is going to be
It'll have a similar aesthetic, but different.
Sure. Yeah.
That way, that it's obvious that they got their powers from the same origin, the same place, obviously, because they do.
I wonder if his Shazam symbol, which was one thing I did like, but I wonder if the symbol itself lights up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I did like that.
I'd imagine when he powers up, when he like uses lightning or something, I'd imagine it does then. Maybe not all the time though.
South Carolina house. Yeah, no. So, yeah, the suit looks, and I don't know if it's going to light up. We have no idea. But also, if it's interesting in that picture that I did with recreated from the Rock City, he has like something like it's a different color gray on his like where the gauntlets would be. I don't think they're gauntlets. It's just a light. You can tell it's just black, but like there's like a lighter kind of richer gray that you see on his arms, which I didn't have, which is why that wasn't in the picture. So.
Got it.
But basically, like, I think the best thing about the suit is the fact that it actually looks like it fits into the DCEU world as we know it. Obviously, there's the multiverse thing going on, and that's a whole little mess of its own. Yeah. But it actually looks like
only one John Stewart exists in the multiverse.
Apparently
that's true. That's true. Only one. There can be
Walter
only one.
Hamada would show up and be like, "Hey guys, multiverse, you guys is great. Only one John Stewart exists, unfortunately."
And he's like, "Carry on."
Pretty much, just fades out of the way. But like, it actually looks like it would fit into a world where Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman exist.
Yes, I agree. Better than his previous suit did. Now, David S. Sandberg also dropped a little bit of a video trailer preview for the new Shazam movie. And, well, there it is.
Nice.
Oh, the gauntlets. You don't like those.
Well, it's a lot better than the last one.
Why is it so dark? Probably would have been a good idea to have, like, one light on.
And that's it.
Yeah. So,
and then the damn emblem on his chest should have lit up for the light. Oh well,
that would have been fire, dude.
That would have been fire.
That would have been a good idea, for sure. Gosh dang it! Now I'm thinking of Walter Hamada as being that guy who gave that one character acid in Hot Rod. Just like puts on a hat, just slides out of the way.
What's up, Gavin Cooley?
What's up, Gavin?
Fights in the comments and stuff, so I hope this movie steps the game up when it comes to the fights. Yeah, I mean, well,
the fight wasn't. I mean, they really mimicked a lot of Man of Steel. When they were fighting in the air. So I mean, and a lot. I think it was pretty good. I don't think it was great, but I think it was pretty good.
I thought Shazam was pretty good. I mean, if you read Shazam New 52, I mean, it's right in line with that. The only difference was that he didn't fight Black Adam right away. He fought Dr. Savannah. I think it was. But I mean, for the most part, for how it was presented in New 52, I thought they did a good job at kind of capturing that, because I mean, really, they're kids. So I think you can make it dark to a certain degree, but you kind of have to make it a little lighthearted because they are kids.
Yeah, keep that lighthearted tone like the first movie.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
And so I thought that they did a pretty good job in the first one. However, I think in the second one, they're going to probably change things up a little bit and make it, a little bit more. I don't want to say more darker, but you know what I mean. They're gonna definitely raise the stakes.
You mean like more darker?
Like more darker, yes.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Less padding.
Mega's a good point, saying only one John Stewart, but 50 different Batmen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, Batman. Okay, John Stewart makes money, but Batman prints money.
Yeah. And Batman, well, he's just annoying, but
Is he in here? Is he in? No, he's not.
He's in here.
He's
probably Dawson's demeanor would change.
Yeah. Immediately he'd be like, he just turned his camera off.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's like the bane of your existence.
Dude, it's David says most darkest.
most darkest.
There you go.
The most darkest age of them all.
Why are you sounding like Hugo?
I didn't even mean to.
Hello, Dawson.
Hello, Dawson.
But I like what Meg says. She goes, Shazam was a cute movie. I mean, that's essentially what it was. It was entertaining. It was fun. Now I'm going to get canceled for saying that, but you know what I mean. For the most part, it worked for what it was.
I mean, it's one that I watched once, had a little bit of fun time, and haven't really touched it again just because.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I own it. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it like I do, other DCU films, but because I mean, it was fun. It was a fun film, and it was, and it has rewatchability. I like watching the kids interact with him and all that, and I like seeing the Snyderverse, interwoven with the visuals and things. So
I mean, it played a pretty, prominent role in the movie. You know, you saw the Batarang, which is from the BVS logo. You know, the Superman bullet,
which means that in a way, Batman saved the day in Shazam without even being there.
He did.
Because the Batarang was the one that saved the day, and that came from Batman.
No crap.
I'm giving you credit because I actually like your that I don't want to call it an analogy, but whatever. Statement. Thank you. Although I did like how when they were in the air like fighting each other, and all of a sudden Dr. Sivana was like, "I'm going to turn you into." He's like, "What?"
Yes,
I'm going to eat your heart
because it's such a funny trope, when they're like so far away and they're like, yeah, I'm going to tear you apart limb from limb, and it's like I can't hear you when you're like a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah, he's like, "What? Oh, forget it." He just charged him. Like, whatever.
So that was good. I like the little things that they did there. So it was fun. It's fun.
You guys continue to conversate. I'm having some slight technical difficulty.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, so let's talk about
his birthday pizza's been delayed.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's like, what?
How dare you miss my pizza?
I
will strike you down where you stand.
Why do you sound like Gandalf?
That was intentional.
Oh,
yeah.
You shall not pass. Fool of a took.
Oh my god.
Oh. So, getting back to the comments.
Can we?
See him.
Yeah,
I can't see him.
I can't stop.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So we got Tarun says Levi looking ripped.
Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, especially like if we can't pull the picture, but like the abs.
Yeah, I know.
The abs look really good.
The guy who has rolls leaves, like, come on.
And
happy birthday, Anthony.
And looking at this, happy birthday, Anthony.
Happy birthday. He deserves it.
See, Anthony, did Candice wish you a happy birthday? Oh, that's so long ago. Oh my God.
Well, you're way out there.
I am way out. Okay, Daniel says,
man.
Hi, everyone, guys.
And thank you, Lewis. Lewis was complimenting my Gandalf voice.
Yeah, very good.
There you go.
I got to practice the other day because I had to be home sick from work, and so I watched Fellowship of the Ring, the extended edition.
Oh wow, that's a long movie.
It was
a long movie.
I didn't even mean to click on that. It was just the first one, Lord of the Rings, that popped up, and I was like, okay, let's click on this. And it was the first time I'd ever watched any of the extended editions of Lord of the Rings movies.
Real? Oh no! Really?
Wow!
You got to watch the other two then.
I do. I do have to watch that too.
Yeah.
Well, I saw all the theatrical versions tons of times.
Yeah, so have I. I saw them in the theater, but I actually owned the extended versions when they came out.
Yeah,
how have you not seen them?
I mean, no respectable
that's like
Lord
saying,
of the Rings fan.
Yeah,
I didn't have them. I didn't have them.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. You have HBO Max.
Well, I do now. I can watch it now, but I didn't have them growing up.
That's like saying that I've only seen the Star Wars remaster editions, all the special effects. I've never seen the originals. It's just like that's impossible.
Not the same actually at all.
Oh,
it is.
Hey, the host is back.
Yes, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that.
No. Just save us from this lunacy.
Dawson has not seen the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings, aside from the Fellowship of the Ring.
No, you hadn't sat at, like potty on yourself versions of the movie. The 4.5.
You haven't lived when I was a kid. We didn't have them when I was a kid. We had the theatrical.
Y'all didn't have potties when you were a kid.
We were alive when you were a kid, and it was only came out about a year or so after the movie came out. But what do I know?
You don't know anything.
No, I wouldn't say that. I know a lot more than you. I know a lot more about Lord of the Rings than you do because I've seen the extended edition.
Fighting words.
No, it's fine. You should definitely check them out. They're definitely worth a watch.
Okay, hold on.
They're worth a Google.
Worth a Google.
Hey, Dawson, Ryan, and Andre. I hope that Zach approaches Samantha Win to play Lashina, Darkseid's female Fury. Hey, that could be cool, man.
That'd be dope.
She's definitely.
She'd have to die.
That's what he does.
Definitely would have to die. She would.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Zach loves having her die.
Yeah,
she gets a call from Zach. She's like, "All right, so I'm dying. Okay, good. So how much screen time? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll find out on the day of. Okay,
I'll be there.
I'll find out the day of.
He actually talks about that a little bit in this. So you guys ready? I'm gonna go ahead and throw this conversation up, and we're just gonna sit in the background and watch it and engage with you guys in the chat. Let me go with what you guys think about it. Give me feedback or whatever. Yeah. But here is my conversation that I had earlier today with Samantha Win. Oh, let me play it.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh. Hey guys, what's going on? Another episode of 4NERDS. As you can obviously see, that our guest this week is none other than stunt performer, actress, total badass, Samantha Win. Samantha, welcome to 4NERDS. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
I am as well. So how are things? How has life been treating you? Movie's been out for a few weeks. Is it crazy right now? Is it?
It definitely is. It's a funny thing because Army of the Dead, in my mind, I wasn't sure how different it would be from the other projects or my size of role. Yeah. So I don't think I was quite prepared for the amount of extra attention that it would be getting, that Chambers would be getting right now. So it's surreal, and life is a trip right now.
Yes, I bet it is. We'll get to Army of the Dead in just a little bit. Yeah, and I totally feel you. I don't know if you know Ray Porter. He played Darkseid in Zack Snyder Justice League. He says the same thing. Like it was just like an explosion of attention that he wasn't like used to. Yeah, it's the same for you.
Totally. And I know that there was a lot of hype going into that film, so perhaps I should have expected it. But I'm so used to flying by low key that. It's a new thing.
Yeah, new thing. Yes. Well, I'm happy for you. Congratulations on this success, because that's Chambers, my favorite character in the movie. The action sequence is. Oh man, we'll talk about that in a bit. But first off, let me ask you, how did you get started? Like, what brought you to the industry, and why was it stunt performing that caught your eye?
Well, it was actually acting first. So when I was a kid, I was in like toy commercials, and I did print modeling for like Sears and the Bay. Yeah. And all those, like, I was one of those kids dressed in Gap, like posing with fake parents and advertising. I really was. But I can't really say what sparked the interest necessarily, because I do think acting was just something I always knew I wanted to do. I was one of those lucky few people who just had a calling early in life, and literally since childhood have been pursuing. So I don't know what it was, but when I watched Jet Li films is when I decided that the action genre was going to be my home and my game. And I fell in love with the movement and the excitement and the technical aspects of using your body along with your emotional performances, and how exciting and fun that could be. So after the age of 11 or 12, once I became obsessed with Jet Li, is when I started leaning into action. And stunt performing was kind of a natural progression out of my athletic career. So that wasn't something I think I even knew existed as a kid. But once the opportunity presented itself as a teenager, I was like, who wouldn't want to be a stunt double? Who wouldn't want to move to Los Angeles and fly on wires and experience all of that? So, and I knew that it would only be helping and going towards a future acting career. And it would only be informing me and giving me more experience on set. And so I've just been taking it as it comes. And boy, has it been a ride. Yes.
I'm sure it has. We're all enjoying seeing the ride, right? So, and you started stunt performing when you were young, or martial arts, I should say. I heard you say in another interview talk about you were really young when you started martial arts.
I was about 4 years old, and that is because my mom is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So just as a birthright, we had to go into jiu-jitsu at age 4. And I had 2 older brothers, so I was always in the environment already, because I was a baby in the crib in the martial arts studio as my brothers were training. So when I hit 4, I was very ready and excited to start as well. It's weird how I can have those memories, but I look at a 4-year-old now and I'm like, you're not going to remember shit, but I guess I do. So I guess they can too. But
I would say it's pretty. Probably since it's had an impact on your life and career. So I'm pretty sure that's why those type of memories seem to stay with you. because I mean, that has helped, right, with your stunt career. The fact that you had martial arts in your life at such a young age.
Oh yeah, and it very much shaped my personality, and I think like my work ethic and discipline. I think so many things stem from having some sort of focus when you're young. So I'm so grateful for that. And then I transitioned into wushu, which is a performance martial art, when I was like 11 or 12. So I really stuck with that path. But stunt performing was actually pretty young as well. My first job was when I was 14. I did motion capture for Brad Allen, who's actually a big second unit director. And I wish I knew the importance of that at the time. He was just the guy at the time, but he's huge now. But 14 and then 17 was my next job after that for stunts, and then kept going from there.
All right. Well, like I said, we appreciate the time that you put into it, because we get to see the result on screen, and it's just like it's fire. It's fire. So real quick, so one thing that I do on my show, and like I said, with us 4NERDS, we try to combine like different aspects. So there's something that's exclusive to my show that I do, where I ask every guest 3 random questions. They're really random. Like when you hear this question, you're gonna be like, "Yo, that is random." And it's just like little tidbits. I don't know if we'll get to all 3, but I did want to make sure I asked you one. This is one I've asked a lot of guests before, and they seem like it. So right now, off the top of your head, without going to look, what's the oldest thing in your refrigerator?
Mayonnaise.
Yes. Same. For, and I always answer the question as well, like condiment packets. Me and my wife could clean the refrigerator just on point every time. For some reason, the condiment packets are still there. Like,
because they don't go bad, or at least in my mind, they don't.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going to open it and be very regretful of that.
Like you just look like a ketchup packet from like 2004. You're like, oh, I just can't do this.
I'm sure my parents have ketchup packets from like when I was a child. I'm pretty positive of that.
Yeah, so there it is. Like I said, totally random. Just like to ask it. I like the energy that comes from asking those questions. So you have a short film that you have been you're finished now, right? Unwelcome. You want to talk about that a little?
Yes, it's the first short film that I co-produced, co-wrote. Kind of had the idea with my partner, and during the pandemic, we wanted to do a project that was fun and that we could get out there, we could accomplish with a small crew, but also one that still says something. And so we felt that Unwelcome, the story with this one, was a good balance of getting a good message out there in a very fun and satisfying way. And so without revealing a twist, because I hope some people watching can click over and check it out, but it is a thriller with a twist, and I would like to think of it as the kind of twist where you might be uncomfortable and squirming in your seat, but when it happens, it's that get up out of your chair and I don't know if I can squirm. I'll say hell yes moment. So yeah.
And where can people find the movie?
They can find it by searching Unwelcome and my name on YouTube, or if they are Vero users, I also have it up on Vero.
Okay, nice. And so, like, what attracted you to that? Did somebody approach you and say, "Yo, I got this fire story that like I'd like you to be a part of," or did you hear about it and were just interested in? So, how did you, like, I guess I could say, how did you like become a part of the movie?
Well, it was my partner and myself really wanted to produce a project together during the pandemic instead of just sitting around, because as the whole world was doing, we were just kind of sitting around for those first few months. And so we wanted to make good use of the time and do something that we could be proud of. And it was fun, and, get our close friends at a social distance to accomplish the goal. And that was really the Kickstarter for it. But it very much was just a fun project for us to sink our teeth into. No pun intended. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
We'll try to stay away from those just a bit. And what about the cast? Like the cast on the film, like how were they to work with?
Spoiler alert.
Like, obviously, you said friends and stuff.
Yep. So the director, as well as my co-writer and co-producer, Shahab Rudbari. He plays Brock. He is the very creepy gentleman, but it's okay because he's my boyfriend. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. And also, here he is.
Makes it way better.
No.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, God.
That was fun. That was great.
Right. One of my best friends, Dawn Marie, she plays Tessa, and then Shahab's best friend, Dustin Stern Garcia, plays Kyle. So it was, I think it was the perfect blend of having those real friendships in real life, and I think it lended itself even further to the story, and also getting to create a safe environment to step out of ourselves so much, because I like to think that I'm not as timid and shy as my character. Shahab is definitely not the creepy predator that his character is, but we know in that environment that you can kind of go farther without fear of how you're coming across personally, because everyone knows you. It's a safe environment, especially between our two characters. We both have stunt backgrounds, so that really helped in certain scenes.
Okay, and by the way, let me ask you, like, how is it working on something like that where it's not real, but like you have to like give the idea that it's real? I've always wondered that people who's worked on like movies like this, like how was it trying to like you gotta make the audience believe that this is creepy for real, but it's actually not?
Yeah, I really think so much of that comes with the trust, and also establishing the lines that you want to go to or stop at prior to shooting a shot. Because I think the worst case scenario on any set, whether you're familiar with the person or not, would be not knowing what the safe line is, what the line of "I'm comfortable with this" is. So even though in this instance we were a couple, there's still a discussion amongst everyone with where it's going to go to, and it's a very choreographed piece. I think that is the most professional, safest way you can go about it. No surprises that are going to leave people with traumatic scarring afterwards.
Yeah. So you guys check out Unwelcome. Like you said, it's on Vero.
Hopefully everything we just talked about now stirs enough excitement. People are probably wondering what the heck we're talking about. Yes, Vero and
YouTube and Vero, check it out. Unwelcome with Samantha Win. Now let's talk about a guy that we both know. Like, I don't know him personally. Wish I did. But you know, there's Zack Snyder.
Man of the Year.
Yes, the year of Zack Snyder. Legit. That dude. If I ever get the chance to talk to him, which I hope it happens for me at some point. How is it? Like, what has he meant to your career, especially lately when it comes to like Army of the Dead or Man of Steel or any of the movies that you've worked on with him?
Well, quite frankly, I really don't know what my career would look like without him, or if I'd even really have one. Even dating back to Sucker Punch, after I'd worked on
Sucker Punch, yeah.
He had even written a letter for me to be able to move to LA to get my green card. So he's very responsible for me having a career. And then, you know, the 7 projects afterwards was invaluable to my resume and to me be able to leverage that into other work and my on-set experience. Really, everything I know comes from his sets and his team that I've worked with often now. So it is an absolute joy. I think he would be hard-pressed to find a single person who didn't have a good time working on his sets.
That's what I feel. I've heard nothing but just great things from anybody who's ever like had the opportunity to either be behind the scenes or in front of the camera on his films. So yeah. And so how did the first time you worked with Sucker Punch, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Like, how were you able to it was stunt performing, right?
Yes, I was stunt doubling Jenna Malone, who plays Rocket.
Yes.
And I was actually 17 when I was first communicated with about the project. So Jim Caro and Zack Snyder had me in mind to stunt double the character. And it was just, luckily production was going to be after my 18th birthday. So I actually could fly out and be put up and go to work every day without needing to have my parent guardian around. But Damon actually had conversations with my parents to make sure they were comfortable, so they knew exactly where I'd be, and they had a line of communication. They really, really went above and beyond to make that experience comfortable for not just me, but for my parents, who, I mean, who really does that? Once you're in the workforce, you're in the workforce. No one really takes care of your parents easily, but they really went that extra mile to do that for them.
That's great.
And I think that set up right off the bat a feeling of family and a feeling of genuine care. And then you go and say, you know, have Debbie Snyder on set as his co-leader, and it really feels like parents of the set, and they're an excellent example for people when it comes to behavior on set, but also reinforcing positive ethics on set. It really, if I only worked on his movies the rest of my career, I would consider myself a lucky performer. They just really take care of their performers and their crew, and I walk away with a great experience every time.
Oh, that's great. That is great. So it was Sucker Punch. I love that movie. I have like little Zack Snyder library down here. It's just all his movies, like several different copies of some of the movies, just because, you know, I try to got to collect them all. So Man of Steel. I also heard another interview you saying, just for our audience who may not have heard, like you didn't think you were going to be like actually on the movie, like on screen as a character. Was it Corvex? Corvex, yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. I knew that I would be stunt doubling Feora. And even at the time, the character was going to have a buzzed head. So I had to agree to buzzing my head. So it took me a while to come around to the idea. I had to call my parents, and I was like, "Will you still love me?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Fine." So I bought extra jewelry and wigs. But once I was on board with that, I was going to wardrobe fittings. And at the wardrobe fitting, they're like, "Oh, we have some other costumes for you to try on." And I'm like, "Oh, Feora gets to wear so many different Kryptonian wardrobes." And they're like, "Oh, no, this is for Carvex." And I'm like, "Oh, am I doubling another character?" And then they told me that I was going to be Carvex, as if it's no big deal. And so I was trying to like, "Oh, it's just no big deal." Sure,
by the way, your Carvex, so this is it cool? And that's all they said. You're like, I guess.
Yeah. So I was trying not to act like a complete nerd in front of them, because I was obviously over the moon excited, and they weren't. So I had to contain that to myself in order to, you know, blend into societal expectations of me.
Well, you were great in it for what you were in. You almost punched Lois Lane in the face. So there's that.
I know. I accosted Amy Adams. That is it.
Were you able to interact with her any on set? Besides the scenes you guys shot together?
Yeah, she really, even though I didn't work with her for, I mean, I'm sure like a few weeks on set, but she really is an example for me and a role model when it comes to being such an amazing actress. She's Oscar nominated.
Oscar nominated, yes. She has yet.
And yet the way she carries herself on set is so warm and welcoming. She will be chatting and goofing around right up until they call action. And then she's able to focus herself so quickly. She's a true professional, kind and warm to everybody. She really is such a lovely person. I know that my small interactions with her were very much how she is with everyone. And, you know, when I was smaller roles on set, I never felt that way with her. She has no sense of hierarchy. You're a human being and you deserve kindness and respect regardless. And so I really felt that from her. She's amazing, and I'm happy to see how far she's gone.
Yes, hopefully she gets that Oscar soon. Like as Amy Adams fans were like, "Oh, is it time yet?" And it just sadly it hasn't come yet, but hopefully I'm sure it will come. It'll come soon because she's fired. So that brings me to like Snow Steem Iron. That is that's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. It's not just being a Zack Snyder fan, but like you shot a movie on an iPhone. Looks better than some movies I've seen shot with like professional cameras. So could you talk a bit about that? Like, how was that experience, and how did you become a part of Steem Iron?
Well, the first conversation I had about it, Zack had called and told me about the project and described the whole story, and I was listening, and I was like, okay, yep, just waiting for the part where he goes, and then she dies, or she does this crazy stunt, and would you be able to come in and double the character? But after he finished telling me the story, he'd said that he'd written it with me in mind and would I want to play the character. And at that point, I was crying on the phone, but I was trying really hard to sound like I wasn't crying because that would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, I was just so over the moon, and I told him, of course, I would want to be a part of it. He can pretty much always count me in with anything he does. And hung up the phone, was dancing around like a crazy person. And then we got to set, and it was truly a special experience because you have Wesley Snyder from the Stone Quarry, one of the big producers, who would be holding a hose and wetting down the street or handing out paper towels. Everybody was there just wearing as many hats as they could, all with the goal of making the project the best they could. No one was fulfilling their normal high-paid roles. Everyone was just there to support Zack and to make the project. No one was being paid. It was just friends and family telling the story. And so you really felt that level of, I guess, true friendship, to get that many people together and to dedicate a weekend and, you know, laying in the streets, everyone's dirty. Sets are usually slightly uncomfortable, so everyone's out in the elements, working long days, and we're happy to do it. And we were all there with each other, for each other, and telling a beautiful story. And so I really consider it probably the most special project I've worked on for that reason. But then also career-wise, it was my first time getting to work in a lead role capacity.
Yes, yes.
So I got to learn so much, and it was a true test of myself that I think gave me the confidence to actively pursue and make my intentions for acting more known afterwards, because I felt like if I could prepare and at least in Zack's eyes, do a decent job using iPhone, which I think is more difficult because you don't have as much prep time.
Yeah.
Like they show you the shot and then they just lift up the phone and it's like, you ready?
Oh.
When usually there's 20 minutes of setting up lighting and more blocking. We didn't really have that. Zack was using natural lighting and he was good to go. And I had to be sharp and on point. And so after that experience, I felt like it helped me get to a new level with my own personal confidence in acting. So it's a special project for many reasons.
Okay. And it's fire. Like I said, I love it. It's short, and I just still can't believe it was shot on an iPhone. You know what I mean? Just like, and this shot right here is just badass. This is, you know.
Yeah, it really was part of, I should say, the inspiration for Unwelcome on my personal end as well. Because if Zack can go out and shoot that in a weekend on an iPhone, why should I be sitting here for 9-10 months, however long the pandemic was going to take, feeling like I can't go out and make content on my own too? So it inspired me, and that was the goal of the project, to inspire people with iPhone filmmaking. So
nice. And that brings me to, you know, I don't know. The movie Zack Snyder Justice League means a lot to me, as well as a lot of other people in this movement who like just wanted it and asked for it for years before they finally. So, what are your experiences? Zack Snyder Justice League. I'm sure did you shoot anything new for when he went?
No, I was not a part of those reshoots. So everything was just news to me as I was watching after filming as well. But yeah, that movement was so uplifting. I think it was something that, you know, we all tweet the hashtag and we're all for it, but it'd never been done before. So I think on some small level, it still felt impossible. But when Zack called and said that his Justice League would be released, I didn't think that it hurt him right at first, because it is so unbelievable. It's an unprecedented thing to have such a drastic re-release that cost millions of dollars to complete. It really felt like a huge win, but not just for Zack, who obviously I'm extremely happy for, and the film industry, but it really felt like a good representation of that time in the world in general. Like you look at GameStop stocks, you look at the current social events happening. It was a year of the people's voices collectively finally making a difference. And so, at least for me, when Justice League was released, it was yet another example that when people come together, we can affect real change. And so it was a deeper experience for me. And I think for a lot of people, consciously or not, that was a feeling that was had. Even if they weren't supporters of Justice League or huge fans, I feel like most people were just very happy that it's now possible.
Yeah.
Speaking up can make a difference.
Yeah. Just me personally, and a lot of my friends, that's like tears, like legit, like, you know, that's the kind of reaction to like him announcing it last year in May. And it was just like, are you kidding me? Holy shit, it's happening. So we were all like, yo, this is, everybody's very happy with the final product. So talk about your experience like filming Zack Snyder Justice League. I mean, back when, and also like this is like a continuation of your character from Wonder Woman, right?
Yes, correct. Well, as always, I have an amazing time filming. I think the most notable fun part about my role while we were actually shooting was the shot where I am leading up the horses and then stepping and goes over us. I turned with the horses in one of the shots, and when I turned with the horse's butt like crossed camera, and it pooped as it crossed the lens, and it was just right up in everyone's faces. So after I turned and everyone started laughing, I didn't know what was going on, and I watched it back, and I was like, "Ew!"
Oh man, that is
so that was the thing I'll never forget about the shooting experience. Out of all the amazing things happening and the costumes and everything, I'm going to remember the horse pooping in slow motion.
So right after this.
Yes, exactly. It might have been in that shot, just, they cut out of it before.
Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Yes. But when it comes to the theatrical version versus Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was a funny experience for me because I knew what we had filmed. And in a way, I almost thought that in the theatrical version, that's what we filmed. So I guess that's what it looks like. It didn't occur to me how drastically different my scenes could feel just with Zack's eye afterwards and Zack re-editing them, because a lot of the same shots were still used in my spoiler alert death sequence.
Yes, which is your favorite? I heard you say on social media that's your favorite one.
Yes,
it's moving to say the least.
Thank you. And I didn't know that it could be that until Zack's version came out. I really thought that myself as a performer wasn't capable of that. And I thought, but what I shot on set was just what it was in the theatrical version. But when it was re-released, I could really feel the impact and the difference that just a different set of eyes has on a project. And I know that there are some additional scenes like running in the hallway that were also included, but the relationship between Queen Hippolyta and the rest of the Amazons was so much more filled out in Zack's version. He really made you be a kind of a representation of all the Amazonians. So I felt like when my character died, it meant so much more in his version, not because there was all of this extra footage, but because there were actual real relationships.
It seems like that small arc that you had between, and her saying, "Show him your fear." We have no, chills every time. Just to let you know, that's so fire. But then like that, I see what you're saying. That little small piece, there's such a better, stronger character arc in just that small piece of film. That when you die, I see why you say it just means more.
Yeah. So it was a cool experience for me, and I felt like I learned more as a filmmaker because you can take footage and make probably 5 different movies out of the same footage that you shoot. So director's eyes are extremely important.
Yes, they are. They are. And so let's talk about being an Amazon. You're a Kryptonian and an Amazon. Just badass like things. Like, so talk about being an Amazon.
Oh, wow. Well, first, it was an honor because thankfully I already knew what Amazonians were, who Amazonians were prior to shooting. So there was definitely a level of expectation I put on myself and pressure to properly represent. So before showing up on set, I was doing my own horse training, and I was in the gym because I didn't want to be a scrawny Amazon.
Mhm.
And my most memorable experience in the training part of things while preparing was that no matter how much I prepared on my own, when I got there, I was still put through the ringer, and I was trying so hard to keep up with everyone else because I was one of the last to arrive for training. So everyone else had already gone through the part of showing up, going all out, being sore, getting stronger, and now they're just on their constant path. But I showed up and they're on their constant path, and I'm trying so hard to prove myself that we were doing these sled sprints where you have weights on a sled and you have to run them back and forth. And I just went way too hard, way too we were supposed to do 10, but I was at a 100% full sprint for my first one. And so by the time I got to 3, I had jello legs and I couldn't push. I was just trying to use like the weight of my body leaning on it to push it forward. And I knew it was embarrassing because everyone in the gym got behind me and started cheering for me. Even though there wasn't much weight on the sled, I just had no power. But it was embarrassing because I still had 7 more to go. So they were there for a long time cheering for me, which was sweet. But yeah, it was embarrassing on my end.
Well, I know the feeling. Trust me, I do. I know the feeling of going too hard. For start, when you got like a it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Is the term I think that's used.
Yes, and I'm still having a hard time learning that lesson.
I think we all are. And speaking of, because I did want to talk to you about it, because you obviously you have to be in some sort of physical shape to do what you do. So how important is physical fitness to you, and like especially for your career and your profession? Like how important is staying in shape to that?
I mean, it is extremely important to me, but I will admit, like anyone else, I'm human, and so I will fluctuate and go through phases. And I do think maybe part of that is credited to my athletic career. At that time in my life, I was going so hard constantly for so many years that by the time I was 18, like I was just pretty tired as a human being. Now with these projects, like being an Amazonian, those also have required such intense training that my training kind of goes from like super high intensity to now I'm exhausted and I need a few months off. Now I have to get back in shape, and then it's some sort of high intensity project again, and then I get tired, and then I train for. So I fluctuate probably more than I should, but as my roles are becoming slightly less, well, they're not really becoming less intense, but figuring it out more. I'm trying to be more steady and constant and have a daily routine, but I do fall off like anyone else, and I'm not perfect. I probably don't take enough time off from the gym, but like it's the same thing though. My wife tells me all the time, like, yo, you need to rest because one day off is not good. But then you go too much, and then it's just you might as well not go at all because your performance kind of suffers because you've just been going too much. So is there like a particular like diet that you have for like preparing for certain roles? Yeah, and it would be for certain roles, like you said. Like for the Amazonians, I really wanted to put on a little bit more. I wanted to be a little bulkier of muscle. I felt like it was just a strong look, and we were covered in armor, and I just thought that would be a cool look for the character. Originally, I would have ideally liked to be more leaned out to see more muscle definition as well, but I didn't time it right, and I didn't manage that leaning process like I would have hoped. Because but for Army of the Dead, I really, because it was a crop top especially, I wanted to have a little bit more definition, and in my shoulders with, we're wearing sunblock and in the sun constantly, it would be a cool kind of badass look. With the bandana, I feel like you need to have defined shoulders and as much definition as my body would allow for my abs. And so that was kind of a routine of constant training with no sugar and but sugar on the weekends. Like I
Yeah,
never.
you gotta splurge a little bit.
Yeah. I would just try to be more conscious of it. So during the week, or if I knew I was going to be shooting a sequence for a few days, I'd cut back on sugar, have more protein and vegetables. And then after that sequence is done, allow myself some freedom and continue again. Because it's more sustainable for me that way.
Yeah. I always like to, when I talk to, because I've talked to Richard before, but Richard Citrone, we're going to have him on next week on 4NERDS. And so that's always something I like to ask, like people that are in the business who act or do stunts and things of that nature is like, yo, what's your diet and how do you like train and things of that nature? It's very interesting to me as somebody who frequents the gym, I guess you could say. Speaking, do you eat cereal?
Speaking of, do you eat cereal? Yeah, sometimes. I enjoy cereal, but it's never something I crave. So maybe like once every couple months.
Okay, so but when you were a kid, did you like eat a lot of cereal? Was that?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
So
Toast Crunch.
So what cereal? This is another random question. What cereal leaves behind the best milk? You know how you eat the cereal and then there's like this milk.
I think the Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like. Is it called Reese's Pieces or?
I think it is. I'm like you. I don't eat cereal a lot and don't crave it, but I always. That's an interesting question. I'm a Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Once you're done, the milk is fire. It's just. It's I almost want to just pour it in a glass and sip on it. It's that good.
See, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my favorite cereal.
Yes,
but I like the milk that the Reese's Pieces leaves behind because it has it's a lighter. Sometimes it's too sugary for me for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I don't mind eating the pure sugar. But I guess drinking. Who knows?
That's my favorite. So Reese's Pieces. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. And so now let's talk about it. It's been out for a few weeks. It's well loved by everyone, it seems. So before we even get into Army of the Dead, I have to know what's up with this hair flip right here. What's good with it? Because I remember in the trailer, I thought you got shot. The way, like it shows you and it cuts, and I was like, yo.
It's because they sped through the flipping part of it, so it looks like a weird neck contortion.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what people were talking about until someone actually sent me a screen of my head tilted like that, and I was like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Did I die?
Yeah.
But this came about because we were doing a 360 shot, and it was kind of one of those classic moments where it's character. So it felt like a good opportunity to really have some sort of small behavior represent what makes my character different. And, wearing the hoops and the crop top and the baby girl necklace, it felt like an appropriate, she's badass as it is. So I think she can also lean into her femininity. And then you put on top of that the fact that the sequence is Tanaka's imagination of how to go down. I feel like in Tanaka's mind, looking at what is in front of him in that scene, this would make sense. I imagine that he would imagine her looking like that while killing zombies. So that was
100% you doing the hair flip.
It was 100% me. It was something each of us just got to create on our own when it came to that shot.
That's like a lot of people's favorite. Besides the fire action sequence that we'll get to in a little bit, but so I just always wondered. I saw that, and like I said in the trailer, I was like, "Yo, did she get shot?" And then when I saw the movie, which I was actually able to see when it released in theaters a week before on Netflix, and so I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so dope, dude! It's so badass." But so how did it come about? I also heard this on another interview, but just tell our listeners and our viewers, like, how did you this opportunity come for you to be in Army of the Dead?
So I'd heard that Army of the Dead was in pre-production, and some of my friends were already working on it. I was hearing whispers around, and I could see the synopsis and the character description. So I knew how badass it was going to be. I was like, oh my God, this is Dave Bautista, zombies, Las Vegas, mercenaries. I want to do this. How do I do this? No one's calling me. And so I was kind of in one of those phases in life where I was trying to improve myself, and I was trying to step out into things that might traditionally make me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of those times where if I didn't do that, I don't know that I could forgive myself for not doing it. So I called all of my friends and I was like, hey, if I ask Zach to audition because I'm not hearing anything, do you think he's going to think I'm ungrateful? Because he's already hired me on 6 shows before. He's already given me a letter for my green card. He and Debbie have already done so much for my career. I didn't want them to think that I have expectations or that I felt to anything.
I got you.
But at the same time, I really wanted to be able to just show my work, just audition, and that would be make it for me. That would be more than amazing. But so after 3 days of my friends being like, stop worrying about creating your own problems, just and ask, I finally did. And Zach replied, of course, come and audition. We're happy to have you audition. And all of those fears went away. And I do feel like I stepped into a new chapter of my life. And if I didn't do that, who knows if I would have been a part of the project. So
yeah. Never know until you try. Well, we're all happy that you did.
Thank you.
So like when did you audition for the role of Chambers, or did you just come in and just audition for any part?
Well, the sides that I had gotten were for Lily's character. I do feel like that is kind of common in casting. If there isn't a whole chunk of a scene, because Chambers, when you look at the film, it is a little spread out. So it would be harder to have like sides cut where you can gauge an actor's feel for the character. So I did read sides for Lily, and kind of went out and shot basically a short film to submit to Zach. I really wanted him to know how seriously I took it and how much of my attention I felt it deserved. So I did not the typical approach when it comes to making a self-tape, but I thought his eyes were going to be seeing it directly, so I thought that he personally might appreciate that. And I'm just thankful that John Papsadera didn't look at it and be like, what is this? And he was very supportive, and they called me a few weeks later with the good news.
Yes. How did you react to that? Was it
tears?
Yeah.
I look very cool on camera, but I'm an emotional person, and I'm not very cool. I make potpourri and scented candles.
All right. So this is okay. Real quick before we move on. This is one of the funniest, especially after you've watched the movie. Once the movie's done, when he's like, "Who has never killed a zombie before?" and you're like, and then the movie's over, and you're like, "No way that's true." So like, let's. Do you what do you think about your character? Do you think there's like some other stuff that maybe might come out later about your backstory? Because what happens in that action sequence is ridiculous, and like, there's no way you could just believe the way she raised her hand. Like, yeah, I've never killed zombies before. I'm like, no way that's possible.
Well, as an actor, you kind of look at what's in front of you and you make it make sense. And so I felt like there were three very likely. I felt like there was a lot of reasons as to why Chambers specifically either A, could just lie about it because she doesn't trust anyone and she doesn't want to reveal her cards. B, she's also so close with Guzman's character, and they come from like a gaming YouTube background. I feel like it's highly likely she could have played a crap ton of VR and just VR mixed with that instinct of survival, giving her an edge on that. Or the third option would be that perhaps she doesn't have experience killing zombies,
but
perhaps non-zombies.
It used to be a soldier or something like.
That is something that I channeled, but because there's no official backstory for that, I wouldn't want to say publicly in case that part of the story is ever filmed in the future. That is on the writers. But for me, I made sense in terms of that between gaming and real life experience. I think she definitely lived a hard life prior to the outbreak, so it was not a very far reach for me to find where that could come from.
Nice. And you did a terrific job. Also love this one because you guys took that for real. I couldn't find it though. I saw you where you posted like where you guys actually took this photo, but this is one of my
It's in my like tweets and replies. Someone had asked for it, or I posted it at some point in my tweets and replies. So you should be able to find the actual selfie that we took.
Okay, I'll take it. So tell me memorable experiences from the set. Like tell me some things that like really stood out. Like once you were done filming and you had time to reflect on the shoot, like you got to be anything like really memorable that just comes to mind?
Funny that you'd mentioned the hair flip moment, because that shot was extremely memorable for me. Because I think that's the standard kind of superhero shot that you dream about doing and that you might act out in slow motion as a child when you're feeling like you're super fly.
Yeah.
But we got to do that in real life, and I had this giant fan in front of me to assist with my hair flip. And it was just a really neat image to look at us standing back to back, and then to see the 360 dolly track, and then everything that each individual person wanted or needed for their behavior moment. But that was a standout for me. Another standout was the fight sequence day, of course.
Yes. And you filmed that in one day, right?
We filmed that in one day. We had 1 week to prep it ahead of time. But what made it so special for me was that I think we ended up accomplishing something that for many other productions and teams would be near impossible to do in just one day. But because Damon Caro was one of the first to hire me back from when I was 17 years old, and on Sucker Punch, Wayne Daglish, who was one of the fight coordinators, and Matt Rigetti were both on Sucker Punch with me, I had actually learned their timing and their behavior, and my stunt performance is very much an attempted mirror at theirs. And so they knew my timing so well. I knew their timing so well. We knew what words we used to communicate, and we'd done this together so many times before that we were a well-oiled machine, and we could go a lot faster than many other productions. So that mixed in with Ian Seabrook, who was operating the camera, and he was second unit DP. He is the most nimble gentleman I've ever met. He was dodging zombies flying in and around him, dodging my knife and gun flying in and around him as I'm doing things. And he captured every single hit every single time. And I never felt him there because he was just always out of everyone's way, yet in the right place. And it was magic happening in that room.
Yeah, favorite action sequence in the movie for me. That's this entire thing. And so look, the scream, was that you, or is this in the script, or was that you just taking it to another?
That was me. It felt right. And there are actually versions where instead of the scream, I did ask if I could yell out "Let's rock" before doing it, because how could you be dressed like that in that environment with cameras rolling and not at least have that as an option to pay true homage to Private Vasquez. So it exists. That is not what made the film, as everyone can see, but it exists and it's out there. And I was thinking of her. I think that Vasquez is probably on a poster in Chambers' bedroom wall.
Oh yeah, probably. That, you know what? That is definitely where a poster of her lies is definitely. But were you able to take anything home from the set?
Yeah, everyone asked me that, and now I wish that I would have, but I'm such a goody two shoes with that. I'm always so worried that someone's going to need it, and I would have inconvenienced somebody. So I really liked the watch, and so what I did is I went to the store and I bought a identical one for myself. So,
all right. How many bandanas did you guys go through during this shoot?
I think just one.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think it was washed the whole time either.
Oh,
like layers and layers.
So when you got done, final day, it was just like it was hard. Was it just like from the sweat drying on it? It was just like in a circle.
Yeah, there was like old makeup caked on, so it was like still in its nice shape.
Yeah.
Or maybe they did wash it, but maybe the makeup caking just stayed. I have no idea, but it didn't It didn't look or smell like it had been washed, and it had been put through the ringer. And I felt proud of it in a way.
Yeah, I would have to. I don't blame you. Maybe there's like in some museum there's going to be an Army of the Dead like thing there, and it how they have the mannequin with their costume on and things. Maybe there's there. Maybe they'll have the bandana like the same one that you wore for this entire shoot, which is wild.
Yeah, I would love that.
You said something interesting. I heard about the lighting for the gunshots in the sequence. Yeah, so tell us about that.
Yeah, that was probably, in my eyes, yes, there was performance and we were throwing around zombie, but it was something that I feel like the stunt performers and myself felt good about, felt confident with. But the true hero for me in this fight sequence was Matthew Rigetti. He had a remote control that was actually manually operating the muzzle flash for my gun. So what he had to do is he had to memorize my choreography probably better than I had it memorized.
Yeah, I bet.
He was actually crouched on top of a shelf in a dark corner of the room watching me. And so as I did the choreography, and I don't even know how he like visually saw, because it was dark and then bright and then dark and then bright. And it's a trip on the eyes. But every time I aimed the gun, it was him controlling the muzzle flash. So our timing between each other had to be perfect. He had to know it was stab, stab, shoot, shoot, stab, shoot, stab, shoot. He had to know the timing, the rhythm, and he was just up there and he was operating the lights as I was doing it. So,
oh man, that is impressive to say the least. I can imagine. I couldn't even do it, and I've seen the movie like 6 times. I probably still couldn't even do it for every one of the gunshots. That's very, very impressive.
And I can imagine him rolling his eyes at this too, because he's so talented in so many other regards. He's a fight choreographer. He is such a brilliant person and a performer. He's an amazing performer. So the fact that I keep talking about like his timing with hitting this button, he's probably like, I can do so much more.
Yeah. We're he's gonna be like, yo, you guys are reducing me to the button time, dude. And that's This one here, this shot here. So I wanted to ask, like the gag afterwards, was that you too, or was that?
Oh, thanks. I feel like you're calling out all the moments where I was making an active point to
nice.
get over myself to make my own choices and not be scared.
We're here, Samantha. We're here.
Yeah, if someone being like, that's stupid. But I was like, if this is Chambers' first time, then this is a decayed human being in front of her. So that was something that was a choice of mine, and I was terrified to do it because of my obvious, I guess, insecurities with making choices. But I think leaps and bounds ahead of getting over it now, especially after seeing that there are moments people have been appreciating. So I got to trust myself.
Yeah, those are the standout moments, of course, for it's me especially, and for a lot of the fans, people that I talk to, my friends that we've talked about the movie, and those are some of the things that like a lot of people just notice. Glad to know that like those are things that were just yours, that you brought to the role yourself, that like unscripted. It's fire. That's so great. So what was it like working with the crew? I mean, those guys are phenomenal. I didn't find for myself a weak point in the entire cast of this movie or the performances. So how was it like working with those guys?
Oh, thank you. It was really a true gift. In a weird way, because we were all so different from each other, we all were in different walks of life, come from different countries, different accents. There was probably an air of, how will we fit together? How will this work? But in a way, all of our differences and the struggles that we went through because of those differences, that's really what united us. And so we had an incredibly close, supportive, caring cast. And I do think that what everyone has been hearing and seeing is a very true and genuine reflection. We've all seen each other outside of work. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm meeting with Anna and Garrett. And so, they were very much true friendships that were forged throughout the process. And we never felt alone, whether it was myself feeling like I was kind of the newest in a lead role capacity amongst the cast.
Mhm.
They all helped me through that so much and gave me the confidence to make my own decisions and to trust myself. And then others who were perhaps struggling with their accents or feeling nervous about that. There were all others around who have been through that who could help them through as well. So it was truly a special experience. I think we worked together so well, and everyone seemed to adapt the true mindset of ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Now, I always love to hear that from members of a large cast like that. Zack is so good at like having like making his cast so diverse that, you know what I mean? And I love that about him. And I love to hear like that you had this great experience like working with such a large like cast, and there's so many characters and like so many storylines have to flow through.
I mean, especially working with Tig too. She was just so funny on. No, I'm kidding. I didn't get to work with her.
Yeah. And that is so ridiculous. The fact that she was not there, and it looks like she was. Once again, Zack and all involved, kudos, because that was spectacular. Like I couldn't really find anywhere where I was just like, yo, she just wasn't there, because everything was done so well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really amazing to hear. And very much his casting process is also reflected in his crew. Everyone is so diverse, so kind and genuine.
Yeah.
He really, once he finds a good personality, will use them. And so when you see people next project, they're familiar. They are like family, and it's just a whole other atmosphere of knowing that someone has your back. And yeah, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like hanging out with your friends.
Nice. That like I said, I always love to hear like people who have done movies with like this large group of people have like a great experience in doing so. So that's really great to hear. And before we wrap up, I just want to ask you about this. So this look that you give Guzman, this is probably the best act. It's great. It's so fire. So like that look, and also Zack killed you again. I'm like, dude, why'd you do that?
Hey, I think it's fun.
Yeah. I do. I can tell you the first time I watched it, for a few minutes afterwards, I was like, I was kind of bummed because I wanted to see where you went, but then like everybody dies. Spoilers if you didn't know. But then everybody dies, so then you're like, okay, cool. Like you went out the most badass. I can say that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that look, because that was a real struggle for me actually. Just prior to that, whether it was like blood or some of the makeup, I was just sweating so much, and there was so much on me that I wiped my eye and I got something in it, and I had to go to the set medic, and they had to like flush out my eye. I think I burnt something in there, and so I couldn't open it. It was so irritated and sensitive that to open it was so painful. Wow. So when we were shooting that, I was trying so hard to be in the moment and to act, but also it was like burning, stinging pain just to have my eye open. So I'm so happy that that moment was still resonated with people, and it wasn't me just like,
yeah.
The lights went up.
Well, considering that, you did a tremendous job with that. So look, congratulations on all your success. What do you have in the future besides like Unwelcome? Like what else? What other projects are you working on?
No, well, it's hard when you're bound by NDAs for nothing outside that I can speak about quite yet.
Okay.
But I'd encourage everyone to check out Unwelcome, and when I can post about things on my social media, you can always find me there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the show. It's crazy because like this is a great way to spend my birthday, is to actually have a conversation with you. So
happy birthday! Oh my God!
Thank you so much. Thank you. That means the world to me. It is. Yeah, it's my birthday today. That's another reason why I was like, I'm not missing this talk with her. So, whatever we have to do to make this happen, we're gonna make it happen. But yes, thank you so much for that. You just made my day.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and for talking to me on your birthday. That is so special. So I hope you feel absolutely spoiled the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think I will be. I'm pretty sure. Just its birthday's just starting, so we'll see what else the day has in store for me.
Coming out of the pandemic too, so it'll be better than last year's.
So yes, Samantha, thank you so much for joining 4NERDS. You're welcome back anytime. Anytime that you get the opportunity, if you'd like to come back, we'd love to have you. And that way, maybe you get to talk to the other 3 guys. Ryan and Andre, shouts out to my boys. They'll be watching this later on too. As we air it tonight, 7:30 p.m.
Give him some shit for me.
I will. I'll give him some shit. All right. Thank you so much, Samantha. And Army of the Dead is on Netflix right now. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I don't think it is, but Chambers is fire, favorite character. And Samantha, we look forward to seeing whatever you have in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Nice.
Well freaking done, man.
She was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, it was a great interview, man.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. It's crazy because it started, and I remember Nickatina, you called me yesterday. You were like, "Yo, he didn't even know we were only supposed to have 30 minutes." And then it's like, "Oh no, now you have an hour." And I was like, "I didn't even know I just."
Yeah, and that was pretty crazy. Her manager emailed me and was like, "Hey, guess what? We had a cancellation, so now you have her. Now she'll be available for an entire hour." And I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, oh, hey, that's awesome. All right, yeah. I thought we had it for a whole hour.
Damn.
It's good they wasn't planning on 2.
So Andre had zero confidence that Anthony would be able to hold a conversation for an hour with Samantha Win.
I didn't know we had an hour.
Kudos to you, Andre. Kudos
I didn't know we had an hour. I thought we had more. I thought we had like. I
don't know how many times Anthony can say fire before she gets bored.
That was a great interview, though. You did a great job, and
man, wow, I'm really impressed. I mean, 45 years old and
44,
held your own.
44, 4x4. Remember?
4x4, yes.
4x4.
Yes, 4x4, and he sells 4x4.
Yes.
What was cool though is that she talked about how Matt Rigetti was there and he was controlling the muzzle flash.
Crazy.
It's just like the light is just flashing in the dark room. Like, how did he do that? He's just like, got it. I mean, he's just like,
because like from what I understand, a lot of different productions they'll simply like animate that in and use that. Well, like they actually wanted to get that real effect and they pulled it off very well.
Yeah.
Like holy crap!
And Matt Rigetti is a huge talent. And actually, he was the one who actually did Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian. He was the one who acted out Skywalker.
Right. And they replaced his face.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's crazy because we talked a bunch, and then I looked at the time, and only 13 minutes has passed. I was like, holy this is about to end swiftly. And then next thing I know, I looked at it, and 55 minutes had passed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to cut some of this. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to, some of the stuff I had listed to ask her, I was going to have to, you know what I mean, cross it out, because I was like, time is running out pretty swiftly.
No, she's a great conversationalist. I mean, honestly, Samantha, thanks so much for joining.
Yes,
with
thank
Anthony.
you so much.
And thank you for wishing him happy birthday. That was awesome.
Yes,
everybody check out Unwanted. That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
definitely.
And then she also has another an NDA. So I can't wait to see what she's working on there. You know.
Yeah. When she said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder what that is.
I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody giving me love for the conversation. Because I've said it before. I'm not an interviewer by any means. Like I don't feel like I am.
Well, I feel like you are.
Yeah,
I think you really proved Andre incorrect. You can interview people. So yeah, I mean, good job, buddy. Good job. You did it. You did it.
You did a great job.
So yeah, really, you guys. This is if you're catching this, after the live, I appreciate you guys for watching. Post whatever you think about this, like in the comments beneath the video. So I don't know if we got the links fixed to all our channels, but maybe
I fixed them.
Oh,
nice.
What you want to do is you want to plug in Nickatina Show, Nerdy in Many Ways, ACS Universe, and Zeeverfett in the search bar for YouTube.
Yeah.
Or click on the links in the description. All the links in the description do work, and please subscribe to our channels, as we're constantly putting out new content, except for Ryan, who does a stream like once a month.
Once a month. It's about quality.
The last video did it was a review, was it?
We did a review.
It was on Stargirl episode 1. A lot's happened since then.
I'm up to date. I'm up to date on all my stuff, so I'm good.
And movies have been released, and so obviously,
I mean, I've been watching a lot of stuff. I don't have the desire to make a review about it. Like the Bad Batch, I don't want to talk about it. It's not horrible, but it's not great. It's not enough for me to talk about, right? I'm ready to see what tomorrow is Conjuring. So I want to see that, and I hope it's good. And then I'll probably do one since Anthony said that the Quiet Place was pretty awesome. I'll probably do one on that. Yeah. So I can't wait for that one because I do like that.
I would be remiss if I didn't do this at least 2 times, just real quick.
Logan!
Looks so good. Looks so good.
Which is on its way soon.
I love the variation in the text.
Yes.
I hate you all.
What we should do is I like it when it's animated, when it goes through the different letters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I need to get that.
Favorite part.
That's really good. Yeah, we need to get that. That's a great.
It reminds me of Dawson.
Dawson.
And here we go. This is where you can find us. Obviously, I still have
Oh God.
Only
Ryan has it.
_
Only Ryan has the updated one. He won't share it. He's gatekeeping.
I'm gatekeeping. Yeah, you can't follow Anthony. Don't do it. He's 44 years old.
Speaking of being, 44 years old, I mean, the new Warner Discovery logo looks like it's 44 years ago. I mean, it's kind of a throwback, and I get where they're going with that. I know Dawson had asked me about that on his drawing stream, and I think it's they're on the right track, but I don't know if you could just kind of backtrack that far.
I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but I mean. I threw up a really quick rendition of what they could have done, which would have been simple.
Yeah, do you have it? That was.
I uploaded it to my channel. No, I uploaded it to my channel. I did it while I was at work.
Yeah.
Your boss was like, "What?
Yeah.
Get this guy out of here!"
So fortunately, I did it on my lunch break. So
yeah. So if the cards fall in for us next week. The guest for the show will be another Bruce. Yes.
Oh,
look at
that guy.
60 years old. So I will say that. And if you guys have seen any of he posts them on his Instagram prominently. Is pictures on his Instagram of
I'm gonna call him out on that actually because he's so modest.
Yeah,
he keeps saying I get in shape or as good a shape as an older guy can get, and then he posts a picture where he has shredded 6-pack and body fat. And I'm just like, dude,
we need that picture ready. So when he comes on here, we're gonna pull it up. Be like, guys, or Richard, what's going on with that?
Yeah,
because guys, like Anthony said, next week we're gonna have Richard Citrone, the guy who played Zeus, who actually played Batman. And has been in every single one of Zack's movies and countless other movies. Yeah. He'll be right here on the 4NERDS, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
This will be his third time on the show, actually.
Third time, yeah.
Very, very exciting.
I mean, always welcome.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, come on. This guy is
but see, here's the difference, though, is that the first few times that he was on here, a movie by the name of Zack Snyder's Justice League had not been released yet, so he couldn't talk about anything related to that.
Talk about it, yeah.
He was now NDA. He can talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he can talk about Army of the Dead. So this is gonna be a good one. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Can't wait to talk to him, especially just because his performance with 0 words, just was fire.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was performance based completely. I mean, you had to sort of get from what he was feeling just from his. His emotion.
And guys, believe it or not, Anthony, when he starts drinking, he acts the same exact way. He doesn't talk. He just stares at you. I'm like, Anthony, what's wrong? He puts the helmet over his head.
And what he does is he goes into a corner, and all of a sudden it becomes dark. Like the whole place is lit, but just the corner that Anthony decides to go hide in and sort of survey. The rest of the
he goes into sentry mode.
It just everything else goes dark, and you can't see anything above his nose. Everything is just dark. It's just all you see is his mouth and like
He turns into a real life Ed 209.
Did I just freeze up? I think I just froze.
No, you haven't been drinking.
No.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
somebody get him a Foster's.
Foster's. It's Australian for piss.
It's waking up Tom, I reckon.
It's waking up Tom, I reckon.
That's what Jesse Allen's saying right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
it is
god,
good.
that was hilarious.
So everybody who watched, everybody who sent me birthday wishes, I appreciate it a lot. You guys have no idea, and you guys,
You're welcome.
you have any parting thoughts? Like,
I just can't wait to talk to her
Don't
again.
take Too late tonight.
We need to get Samantha back on the show again where we can all
Yes.
talk to her as well. But you did
Yeah.
an amazing job of the interview.
Oh,
You hit all the points, dude. That was fire.
yeah,
And
happy
you
birthday,
threw in
man.
your questions. You had, it was two.
yeah,
It was two questions.
What
We
was
didn't
the
get
third question?
The magic 3, yeah.
I think it was if she had a.
When was the last time you took a shart?
Oh god.
Whoa.
Hey, it's random. It's random, isn't it?
It's a very good thing that Ryan was not in charge of this interview.
Seriously.
Hey, what?
She would have answered honestly, I'm sure.
I think it was if her career ended today, there was a biopic who played her. Who she probably her because
Oh.
she's young and she still looks like.
Yeah,
You know,
she's young.
he asked me that same question. I remember that you were like, "Who?" You asked me that question when I was on your show the first time.
Yeah, who would play you in a bio?
Yeah, I picked Adam Sandler because everyone says I look like him. They used to at least. So I was like, I'll just pick him.
Or Paul Rubens.
Not Paul
Paul
Rubens.
Rubens.
Not Paul
Hey, that's
Rubens.
where, that's
The
where you
hardest
gotta
person would be
go.
Ryan because there's so many people that look like him. It could be Sam Benjamin. It could be Luke Wilson. It could be so many other actors. He has a huge list to choose
You
from.
see her dude?
Yeah.
You see her dude pop in for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, the
Yeah,
chat,
so it was a bonus.
it broke their
The chat-
hearts.
Yeah, broke their
She was
hearts.
breaking hearts. All these
That's
guys were.
hilarious.
It was like a shot to the gut.
Sorry,
Yeah, they're
Jesse.
like, oh,
Yeah.
oh god.
You know, who said it? They were like, "Oh, I allow my wife to, you know, have some side relationships." Like, yeah, chill.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
It wasn't Jesse, I'll tell you that.
What?
Just like I married all the women in Army of the Dead. Yeah, I bet.
I married older women, I reckon.
I reckon. And I drink some Falsas.
Holsters.
Yeah, do a shrimp on the barbie.
And the
With a
flaming
knife.
onion.
Yeah, the flaming
Only an
onion
Outback.
with my knife.
Well, that's not a knife.
This is a knife.
This is a nod. Yes.
That's a crock.
Slow your
Danger,
roll. That
danger,
man's a
danger.
national treasure.
Did a dingo eat your baby?
Dingo eat your baby.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody. Yeah. Hey, chill, brother. They belong to no one. That's probably what they say too.
I remember when Jesse was on my show once and he was talking about Mel Siggy. He's like, yeah, you should follow Mel Siggy. She's a good supporter. I was like, awesome. And she's a patron as well. She kicks ass, but
Yeah,
I
she's a
just always
patron, I
remember
reckon.
that. She's a good supporter.
She's a good supporter. I love
Now you cut.
that. Zack Snyder.
He's over to shut up.
Oh, did he?
He's a great bloke.
Blimey.
Blimey, made a flaming onion from a crock, mate.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Shark bait, hoo ha.
Shock me.
what was the address again? Remember? We were talking
42
about
Lloyd
this.
Way, Sydney.
42 Wally Way, Sydney.
Oh shit!
Oh, Wallaby Way.
42 Wally Way, Sydney. 42 Wally.
If she does make her way back to the show, though, she's gonna give you guys. She told me to give you guys shit. Like at the.
Well, she said
She's gonna be like, "Why? How could you guys be at your jobs?
Yeah. How could you guys have a steady living?
You guys didn't request Auntie's birthday off, you pricks."
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, no lie. I looked at my messages during my lunch break and I saw, like, dude, the conversation was fire. I was like, man, I'm making freaking HVAC units all day. I'd much rather be there.
No, look at that. Jesse got it right. Look at Jesse's got
P. Sherman, 42 Wild Whiskey.
he's like, that's P. Sherman. P.
Every good Aussie knows that address.
That's my dentist.
That's my dentist.
At the end, she told me to get these guys because they weren't.
What was the little girl's name? That's maybe she used to shake the bag.
Darla.
Darla.
Darla. Oh shit.
P. Sherman.
Yeah, no, seriously though, when we early in it, when I was talking to her, she was just like, "Hey, these little kids, they don't know shit," and I was like, "Oh, so cussing is cool. Let's go!" Like,
oh yeah, Anthony was like, "Hey, so check this fucking shit." Oh, okay. Hey, Brooke came in. She's like, "Hey, chill out." Okay, yeah. This man's all
like,
straight
I know
face,
it's your birthday, but
I thought it was hilarious how she was talking about how like her character oh gosh, I'm spacing Chambers, yeah. How she's like super BA, like, you know, just killing zombies and whatnot. She's like, yeah, and I'm just over here like my real self, like scented candles and like potpourri. Like, wow.
I'm actually very sensitive.
that's why I asked her, because I asked her how she responded to getting that role, and she was just like, "Yeah, I cried because, you know."
Jesse Allen says, P. Sherman lives around the block from me.
Lives around the block from me. we share a Foster's. That's the only beer I know. That's Australian.
Just a kangaroo hot from here.
Oh god!
And a koala crawl.
A koala crawl.
There you go. You just jump right in the pouch like a baby Joey.
we get together and we play our didgeridoos.
I gotta do the air cut. It's for Captain Boomerang. He's the legend.
I was watching it with my nan.
Hey, everybody.
She says we don't drink Foster's. We drink.
We don't drink
Tooheys
Frosters. We drink Tooheys and VB.
Tooheys and baby.
VB. What is that like? VD. Venereal disease.
Yo, Jesse, we need like audio clips for the show. We need audio clips from you.
Screw that. We just need Andre's voice.
He's all, I am Captain Boomerang.
Oh my gosh, I'm done.
Oh man.
Captain Boomerang was
I just love that. Oh, you should pick up Mel Siggy. She's a great supporter.
Yeah.
Things like this. When
You should follow Mel Siggy. She's a good supporter. Hey, right on, man. Tight. She's awesome.
Oh, man.
I don't know what to do without her.
Oh god. My lungs hurt.
Oh god. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have Richard Citrone next week.
Yes.
And after that week, we're gonna have none other than our good friend, the True 31 will be here as well. So Truth will be here right after Citrone. Yep. That's the next 2 weeks worth of action, and then hopefully we'll get Joey Moreno. Oh, he's in the chat.
Oh, yeah. We are laughing.
We are laughing.
Never bring up that interview.
At one point, he hit a button by accident, and it showed his face because he had an avatar.
Did he?
It was like this too. It was like this. So he had his avatar up. All of a sudden, he was like,
"Yeah." That's all you need.
Hey, but when he did it, he was like this. He was like this. He was like this. It was like hella close to the camera. I was like, what
It like teleported.
I know you tell him it took the frame from the last time you did, the last time you were on, plus the frame from what you just did,
like,
and it played them both together.
Did it really?
So weird. Yeah,
It's a scary movie is what that was.
You got that
He was like,
arcade internet.
I think I showed my face. I was like, yeah, I think you did. I'm like, get a screenshot.
It's like the movie Unfriended, where like just glitching everywhere. There's a freaking ghost in the computer. Golly, it kind of terrified me.
Golly.
Gee willikers.
What the hell did I miss?
Son of a motherless goat.
You're gonna have to go back and watch it, Joey. I mean, we've
Joey, hold on a minute. Hold on. Joey, why is it that you show up at the very end of the stream? Is this when you roll out of bed? You're like, oh, it's on.
He's working,
like bobblehead, like, oh, it's on.
Is it World's Finest? Oh no, wait, that's on Sundays.
That's on Sunday. Oh yeah, Anthony's on. Well, I guess I'll check it out. Fuck it.
I guess I'll check it out for the last few minutes.
I guess I'll check it out. I reckon.
P. Sherman, Wallaby Way.
Yo, oh man!
You know what I want to get on the show is cosplay Chris.
I was just thinking that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's
I've asked Jesse numerous times, like, Jesse, I know he lives down the street from you. Can you just go down there, knock on his door, say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You want to force this? Come on, Nickatina Show. He's a good supporter.
He's good.
He likes drinking water.
Shit. He's a good supporter.
He's also going to play day.
That's where I live. It's just down the way by the Opera House.
By the Opera House?
You know what Australia is?
Sydney Opera House.
Yeah. God,
The popular building that's always
cultured
shown.
Swine. He says, I do talk to her. What you talking about?
Yeah,
Her. Cosplay Chris is the dude.
What?
Yeah, Andre's having Nightcrawler powers. Yeah, I can teleport. That's how I get around.
Oh my gosh. That's why I haven't told him my address. Because he can just teleport here.
He'll just pop in he'll just pop into the studio. How's it going?
It's time to stream, I reckon.
Knock over your shit, and then you're just like, don't.
Are you ready to stream, I reckon? Time to power things up.
Yeah, you would come in here and just knock over my figures.
Power on the router.
What?
Router.
Oh,
Power on the router.
Power router.
On the router.
Yeah,
Router's like Power Raider.
I thought you said the rudder. I was like, with the
Rudder.
Same difference.
I'm coming.
Router, I better know.
I'm on my way. Oh my god.
Oh man.
So Jesse Allen, everybody, give him a round of applause.
Yes.
He's a big supporter of the Ayer cut, and he'll never stop until it's released. So I do give him props for that.
That's he's devoted.
He's devoted. He hasn't given up. He never will.
And he never will.
I never said thank you. You never have to. Why do you have a lisp?
Why did he have a lisp?
He's a piece of
You never have to take
That's around the barbecue sharing stories of Andre.
Look at him. He's all tuckered out. He's asleep.
Sleep.
He's all
This is a gun.
What? What are you talking about?
College humor Batman.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh
You
my
never
gosh,
saw
you
it?
gotta be kidding me.
No,
Where do you think
that's
that-
a lie. You're a
Where do you
liar.
think the helicopter?
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Okay.
Yeah, you've seen it. Everybody's
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna check the Twitters to see what's that. Oh yeah, so this is something else I want to show you guys. So check this out.
No.
Okay.
So let me pull this up. Nope. Okay.
Jesse, Eleva, cheers. We'll
Yeah.
crack the Fosters for that.
Where's your faucet? Oh, he poured it down the drain.
Hey, Sherman, I sit around the barbecue. Sharon stores Vondre.
Hey, P. Sherman, how's your fish? Oh, they attacked me. They went crazy. They attacked Dollar.
Ranas.
Okay, so here it is right here. If you can pull it up, Anthony.
Yep.
So this is from Lycast. He says,
Los Tragas.
what? Donde estos los drogas?
Silly drugs.
Drogas?
I like how he just busted with Spanish all of a sudden. He says, wow, those sound waves look mighty familiar. And that's right. And that is when Zod bit the dust.
Mhm.
You can kind of see those sound waves too. Like, it's a hard neck.
Yeah.
Actually, you'll see the same kind of sound waves when I get my neck adjusted at the chiropractor. Damn it! So then there was that, right?
Mhm.
And the other thing I want to show you guys was, which I thought was really cool, and I put it in the 4NERDS chat. So let me quickly get in there before you guys. Oh God! there it is. So this is the difference between what we saw in Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, my shoulder! And here it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, look at his shoulder in Zack Snyder Justice League. Look how much more beefed up it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like there, it's like really,
Yeah,
flat
he's like
and-
this, and then he's like this.
Like in general, like Cyborg's just bulkier in Zack Snyder's, or Cyborg is more bulky.
He's like, oh,
He said, yeah. No, that's fire.
just kind of crazy to see that. That's how bad they screwed this thing up. But ¿dónde están las drogas? We'll crack a faucet for that.
Where are the other drugs going?
But no, it's
Anthony Robinson's.
oh, God, here we go.
Whoa, yeah, he just found out about the extended edition, so now he's
Hey, I knew about them.
Okay, so for all you guys who didn't know this, Dawson just saw the extended version of
Fellowship of the Ring.
Fellowship of the Ring. He's never seen the other two
he
extended
didn't know it
versions.
existed.
I knew
Yeah.
they existed.
Do you know how much?
Ryan.
Do
Shut up.
you know how much like footage you've been missing out on?
Yeah, I know,
incredible.
right?
I know.
That's like saying you've seen Justice League, but you've never seen Zack Snyder Justice League. It really is.
That's
It's
not-
it's an entirely different movie.
Not
There's
the same.
so much more that happens.
Oh man, no, you definitely want to treat yourself to Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what it is? It's because Dawson, until recently, he didn't like long movies. He couldn't sit still that long.
Well, the problem with Dawson starting long movies is that he couldn't stay up to finish them.
That's what his bedtime would hit. And he'd go, "Oh, it's a school night."
Lindsay's like, gotta work.
Terminator.
Hey, Sherman, Wallaby, why?
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and I don't think I will. I don't know if I will. But Dawson, you were saying how you got a chance to watch the Friends reunion, and you were a big fan of it.
Oh yeah, I love Friends, and so that reunion was absolutely fantastic. I mean, freak, they had the set, they had the cast reunite and everything. Like, dude, sign me up. It was fantastic.
Wait, you watched that, but you haven't watched Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Dude, I've watched Zack Snyder's Justice League like 8 times.
What you said? Ryan said Dawson's mom would love.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we're already past 9, so we're
Sorry,
good.
yeah. His mom fell asleep, so she can't stop him right now.
Yeah, she fell asleep on the couch.
On the couch, waiting for him.
Yeah, waiting for him to come through. It's like, is that stream over? You done with the interwebs?
The interwebs.
Why do his mom sound like she's like 70 years old?
Because Anthony is 45 and
Whoa.
Oh, we jumped a year.
Jesus. Okay, so
There we go.
for full transparency, not.
Ryan's just trying to make himself feel better.
feel better. Oh, fantastic.
George says, who's your favorite character from Friends and why is it Joey?
Why is it Joey?
And why is it Joey? Yeah, there you go.
My favorite character is actually Chandler.
Mm.
That makes a lot more
Bing.
sense to be
Chandler
honest.
Bing.
Yeah.
Like, I have a good friend from Texas who's like the personification of Chandler Bing. Like, no, not Ryan. He's not my friend.
Not Ryan.
Jesus Christ.
But
damn.
but no, Chandler Bing is very similar to a friend that I have back
Joey.
in Texas.
Joey's comment.
Zeeverfett. Yes.
Oh man. Didn't you just have something up here, Nickatina?
Oh yeah, so it was a tweet I was gonna show you guys, but it has nothing to do with
good,
Friends. So,
Okay.
but I do want to say that one thing I did like about Friends. I mean, there's a lot of things I liked about the show, but one of the aspects I loved about it was when they would be somewhere or in any kind of scene, whatever, Chandler was there, whatever. Then all of a sudden, like in certain situations, all of a sudden in the background, you'd hear, "Oh my God!" And
Janice.
Yeah, he's like, "Damn it!"
And then they brought her onto the reunion. And
they did?
They introduced her the same exact way. They came like, "Oh my!" Like, it was so good.
It should always come at the worst time too on the show.
Oh my
like,
gosh! And Chandler's face every single time was great. And
he used to date her
like 4 times.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the reunion though is when they showed like bloopers of the pivot scene. So in case like people don't know, they're like moving a couch and Ross is like, pivot, pivot, pivot. It's a great scene. They showed bloopers where like David Schwimmer, actor for Ross, just kept laughing and laughing, and he kept saying pivot, and everybody else kept dying laughing. It was basically like what we were when we were
outtakes,
Australian accents. Yeah, outtakes.
Yeah. Oh, they were doing in Australian accents?
No, it was just like what we were doing.
I know. Okay, so here's a tweet I want to show you guys. I thought it was kind of funny. It says the scene, which is this one here. And then it says the cameraman.
I've seen a lot of these memes going around lately.
Yeah.
It's like, God, so touching.
Yeah.
Well, they are touching hands.
Is that Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes, yeah. So another question I wanted to ask you guys was, did you guys get a chance to watch A Quiet Place 2?
Yes.
Oh, I did, yes.
I did too. Okay, Ryan, leave. Okay, so
Zeeverfett.
Zeeverfett.
Zeeverfett. I'll leave.
Dude. Ryan, if you can make an animation for Zeeverfett, that'd be great.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll do one with well, never mind.
Well, Ryan,
not only will I do one.
You should go see this movie. It's really, really good.
To the theater?
I actually thought that
I didn't think you were allowed.
As good as it was, I actually thought the first one was better. Only because the first one it has taking nothing away from the second one. The second one was really, really good. But I liked the first one better because when I first saw it, I didn't know what to expect, and it was such a different take on an alien invasion per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was really cool. But I did like the flashback scenes, because it shows in the previews that you get to see kind of like when they arrived and all that. And so I thought that was really, really cool. Not to give too much away, but his son,
don't give anything away.
I wanted to like smack that kid hell time. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're making this a little worse.
His scene later in the movie, it definitely questioned that a bit. But
the whole movie, I was like, dude, this kid,
I will say, my wife and I watched the first movie, and one day, and then the next day we went and saw number 2 in the theater. So we saw them back to back.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen it before?
No, my wife hadn't. I had seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
My wife had it, and she wanted to see it so she can go see the second one with me. But so seeing it back to back, like you're absolutely right, Andre. Like, it was very unexpected the way that the film ended up turning out.
Yeah.
And the way John Krasinski just did a masterful job in his directorial debut. I will say though, I personally feel like the second one is better.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many different elements to it. Like they still utilize the sound, the quietness, and the sound, little tiny sounds to put you on edge. Like you're a good director when a character stepping on a leaf fills you with dread.
Yes.
Like,
no, they did a lot of cool things, and like I said, I like it a lot. I thought it was a great movie. The second one.
So now there are leaves in the film. Come on, guys, quit the spoilers.
There's leaves in bare feet. And AK, we saw the new suit. We actually talked about it earlier in the show, and we thought it looked a lot better.
Oh yes,
Miles,
definitely.
I love the gold lightning bolt. It might not be as big as it could be, but like looks dang good.
Looks very, very good.
Like we mentioned, it's obvious. Like somebody, probably multiple people, but somebody, at least one person who's working on the new Shazam movie saw The Rock's suit for Black Adam.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's.
Well, it's his production. Shazam is his production. So I mean, he's all over that shit.
Yeah. So somebody said, okay, let's upgrade this to make it look at least on par.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they no longer have like the lightning bolt that obviously has like a light bulb inside.
That was like
what?
What?
It lit up, but at the same time, it did kind of look.
It caused that extra.
It lit up because of magic.
Movie magic.
Movie magic, cinema.
Yeah, okay. So
But,
the DC is quite. If you haven't seen it, also on YouTube, there's like some videos where he breaks down just a couple of scenes from the movies. It's so fire just to watch him talk about it. And he has like this, probably what Ryan has down there, like a huge tablet where he just circles things and talks about the opening sequence to the second A Quiet Place. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Which
it's awesome.
was amazing just because like that. Again, we won't go too far into it because people saw this in the trailers. That sequence where it's a flashback just gives you a sense of who these people were beforehand. It gives you kind of an idea as to how much they've changed, how much they've had to adapt, or how much they've lost, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what was crazy was that in the first Quiet Place, when I saw the movie, I didn't know it had to deal with like aliens. I thought it was just like like they were trapped in a cabin. I didn't even know what it was about. I was like, I was like, all right, I just want to see this
to watch a film.
Yeah, and I was like,
go in like completely,
cool.
With no expectations. Yeah.
No, it's fire. So like, if you guys haven't seen it, A Quiet Place 2 is awesome. If you haven't seen the first one, highly recommended by all. Just go see, or not go see, but find some way to watch it at home. And then if which I think it's The Quiet Place 2 has resurrected, I guess, post-pandemic. Well, not post-pandemic, but it
was the right movie at the right time because it capitalizes on the theater's sound. And so all the sound effects and you find
it's probably more quiet because there's less people in the theater.
Nah, mine was packed.
You know what's funny?
Mine was packed.
If you watch Paul's video from Heavy Spoilers, oh my god, he has these because he usually drops like these cheesy dad jokes, and he has some really good ones for A Quiet Place too.
Yeah,
I can't even repeat them. They're so cheesy, but it's really good. But no, I found that the theater it was so quiet when I was watching it.
It was quiet in A Quiet Place.
In A Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes like that. That's the kind of jokes he uses.
My wife asked, "What are you eating, Ryan?"
It is chicken parmesan with some green beans and a water chaser.
A water chaser. He don't like the taste of it. He has to chase it down.
It was a smaller one. Like, I don't know, like my hometown theater, which you can only guess.
All 20 seats where you're living in your garage?
Dude, I swear to God, like, so we had one of those. I'm talking like really. It has a marquee out front, it has a marquee. So it's old, and they remodeled it like a couple of years ago. And what they did was it just had two separate auditoriums. They made it into four. We had never been to one of the smaller ones before to watch a movie there. There was probably 25 seats in that bitch, and it was.
Well, dude, I was in Lake Tahoe, and
that's where you watched it.
No, but. That's so. Dude, I was up in Tahoe, and that's when what was it? The Rise of Skywalker came out, right? And so we went to go see it, and it was at like a very small, local theater.
And Skywalker, right?
Yeah, and they had these couches that you can sit on. So my wife and I were like, "Oh, let's get the couch." So we sat there. But the problem was the couch it had a low backrest and it had no head support. So the whole time I was like,
"Awful."
Yeah, I was like, "Why did we sit here?" So I'm like laying down,
Whereas,
I was like, "Oh."
Whereas our theater here, it's like a very old building, and like it has one theater on the bottom floor, and you go upstairs to the next theater, and the theater upstairs is a little smaller. But they have like the really nice reclining chairs. You press the button and it reclines, and like it's long enough for me, so I can rest my head and my legs. I was like, "Oh yes, perfect."
Yeah, our theaters are pretty small, and they only offer the big recliner chairs.
Yeah, that was nice at the theater in Houston.
And Ryan had to like jump to get into the chair.
I did. It was a running start. Actually,
a running start.
I needed some assist from Anthony, so I gave him a couple drinks, and he went straight into support mode.
Actually, the way I got into my seat, it was kind of like Colossus and Wolverine. I was like, "Throw me!"
No, it was more like Lord of the Rings when they're tossing Gimli.
You're gonna have to toss me.
Okay, so explain it to Dawson because he hasn't seen The extended edition of that.
Oh, he's
film.
never seen it. He doesn't know about this scene.
You don't know.
I
I've
don't think it
seen
was in the
clips.
regular one.
I've seen clips.
Oh, he's never seen it. Okay, you guys, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Or like,
Up.
you know what I loved in Return of the King is when the leader of the Nazgul confronts Gandalf, and they have that. Oh, wait, that wasn't in the theatrical.
I've seen
Sorry.
that scene too. Okay.
Yeah, but you haven't
Wasn't
seen
in
it. You haven't seen.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers. Sorry, Dawson. Sorry, Dossie.
What?
Don't call me Dossie. Don't
Our
do that.
theater, our theater accidentally showed Sex in the City 2, and nobody wanted to go. What?
He said nobody wanted to go. Let the theater know, so we just watched the whole thing. No.
That's a horrible movie, dude. Sex City 2 is horrible. I've had to watch. that movie.
Wait. Oh, as opposed
It's
to the
terrible.
first one, you've seen it?
Yeah, my wife's
And
a
you
huge
saw the
fan.
first one?
Yeah, my wife's a huge fan of Sex in the City. So yes, I have seen both because I support my wife, unlike other guys I know. But the first one was good because the first one was it felt
That's
more
Tuesday.
like
that. You know
What may
that.
be referring to?
the first one was
He's
good
like,
because it felt
can we
like
get that shirt back?
a condensed scene. I'm not talking about Anthony.
Between the two.
And I'm not
of
talking
us.
about, I'm not talking about Dawson either. Oh, it felt like
You
a
said
condensed
multiple
season, but
people.
the second one
Is that
was
me
just
and
a
you?
horrible movie. It's horrible.
Well,
Have you seen Sex in the Sydney? It's an Aussie series with Rick Foster's watching it.
About time to have sex, I reckon.
You want a martini?
I won't even attempt it. but
Shrimp
it's hilarious.
cocktail.
I'm gonna fuck you like a wallaby.
oh my god.
P. Sherman Wallaby Way. That's a good place to have sex.
Golly.
And like that. What do you want?
Down under.
Oh,
It's like Sex in the City went down under.
Yeah, down under.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate
Yes.
my watch. We picked 2 hours.
We just had to get there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
appreciate, we love you guys. Appreciate everybody sticking with us. We appreciate the comments during the interview. I appreciate the birthday wishes today, all day long. Have been fire.
And shout out to Samantha. Awesome.
Yes.
interview.
Thank you so much
Come back,
for
come back.
sticking
These
it out.
guys would love a chance to have a conversation with you as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
if
Yes.
you see this, come back and be a guest on the show.
Give us hell.
yeah,
Give us hell. Give us your worst.
Yeah, be true to your word.
And when you come on, I want you to wear the red bandana. Come on.
one. for the
That
whole
was
production.
one. Yeah, I know. You were like more than overly shocked that it was one. You were like, one bandana?
Yo, because
No, I was
when I asked her that-
15.
when I thought to ask her that, I was like, "There's no way." I thought she would at least say there was a few. She said one. I was like, "Oh shit, that's."
You were like,
It's-
what material is
It had to be crispy, man. Like
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It
Kentucky
did.
Fried
she said it was. She said it was the makeup dried up, and I was like, "Fire!" dude,
original
yeah.
recipe.
Original recipe.
Oh shit! Appreciate you. Sex in the City. Yes, yeah.
Sex in the Sydney. Really? I've not seen that one.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Adam Siggy, he's a good supporter.
Oh,
Man, appreciate you. Hey, how did he say it though? Was he like this? She's a good supporter. Like
No, she was like,
you can't even say it now.
You can't do it.
can't do it. He's like, oh, yeah. And Adam Siggy, she's in the chat. You should follow her. She's a good supporter. Yeah, all right, man. That's actually the first day I met her. I was like, all right.
Okay.
all right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching 4NERDS. We are 4NERDS, and we will.
Four Nords.
Four.
He's rebranded us.
Four
Nerds.
Four Noids.
Yeah, four Noids. Yes,
Great supporters.
We are 4NERDS. We'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you watching.